question.
No, I literally just tried to answer your question. You shut me down. So now your colleague is going to...
Let me ask the question first before you
Okay,
answer.
thanks everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.
Question on the respect for the mayor?
All right, guys. So I got to tell you, I think that White House Affirmative Action Press Secretary Miss Karine Jean-Pierre is starting to lose it. Okay, I think she's starting to really get to the point where she does not want to do this job anymore. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if we hear some type of announcement that she's quitting and moving on to greener pastures, like getting a show at MSNBC that absolutely nobody will watch or care about, like her predecessor, Jen Psaki. And again, I think that this is probably going to happen sooner rather than later, because it is becoming clear in her recent press conferences that she is getting frustrated with the fact that she is getting tough questions, okay? That there's a lot for the Biden administration to answer for, and she is the main go-to person to answer those questions. However, when it comes to tough questions, these are questions that you just can't read out of a binder and give a cookie cutter answer to, because it's just not enough, right? You actually have to be able to think on your feet and to give a good answer to a reporter's questions. And just quite honestly, Karine Jean-Pierre is not good at that. She is terrible when it comes to thinking on her feet, and it is really starting to catch up with her. Okay, she's getting to the point now where she just taps out, right? She's tapping out on any hard questions while being visibly frustrated with her job. And that is what happened today during this press conference, in which she ended up walking out, storming out of the press conference after getting called out on more bias from the press secretary in regards to who she doesn't want to call on. Now, one person that she does happen to get questions from every single day, this is like the only conservative they'll call on because he's from Fox News, okay? We're talking about Peter Doocy, right? They don't really want to call on him, but they call on him only because he's from Fox News, and they can't just ignore questions from Fox News, okay? That would be too much in your face, overt bias, okay? Fox News is the only conservative outlet they'll consistently call on. But hey, I gotta say, Peter Doocy never disappoints because he's always asking the most relevant, toughest questions in the room to the Biden administration to hold them accountable. And Peter Doocy started off the day with a bang, asking Karine Jean-Pierre about Joe Biden and his reasoning for getting Brittany Griner out of prison via an exchange for Victor Bout, who is currently being held in an American prison. He's a Russian arms dealer, and he conspired to kill Americans as well too. He's been described as one of the most dangerous men on the planet, right? Biden decided to trade that guy, a Russian arms dealer that conspired to kill Americans, for a black lesbian basketball player, right? When he also had a Marine sitting there that he could have got out of Russian prison as well. But no, we're going to get the person that has the most infinity stones of wokeness, right? Which is Brittany Griner, okay? She has quite a bit. I think she actually has the same amount as Karine Jean-Pierre, right? Which makes this exchange between Peter Doocy and Karine Jean-Pierre on this situation so interesting, because again, you're going to see Karine Jean-Pierre get visibly upset, right, about Peter Doocy pressing her on the fact that the Biden administration left behind a Marine. Take a look.
Russia get such a better deal?
Look, I've talked about this, and I'll say this again. Here were our choices. Our choices was Brittany or no one at all. Bringing home one American or no American at all. And that's
a professional athlete. We gave up a prolific arms dealer who was convicted of trying to kill Americans, who was called the Merchant of Death.
The professional athlete is also an American citizen. So let's not forget that. Who deserved
American
and
citizens.
so and I've explained how the Russians have illegally totally illegitimately treated his situation. I've been very clear on that. We've laid that out for you. And again, the president felt that this was an opportunity to bring Brittany home. He is going to continue to do everything he can to bring Paul Whelan home, just like he did with Trevor Reed, just like he was able to secure Trevor Reed's release.
How can you say that he's going to do everything that he can if he said just a few days ago he's not going to call Vladimir Putin until further notice?
We were able to do this through different channels, right? We were able to do this through different avenues, folks from the U.S. government that were able to make that negotiation, have those conversations, and secure Brittany's return. So we have been able to do this, and the president has been committed to getting this done. We are still working to secure Paul Whelan. At this time, we were not able to make that happen, but that does not stop us. That will not stop us in making sure that Paul returns back home safely to his family.
And just one other topic. You've said a few times that you really can't talk about communications between the Biden campaign and Twitter. Who is telling you that that's off limits?
I've already had that conversation with you, with your colleague, I believe yesterday. I've already addressed this multiple times this week, so I don't have anything more to add. Again, we've litigated this all week. Don't have anything to add.
So not a campaign
I'm going to the back. I'm going to the back.
administration-
I'm going to the back. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Karine. On a different topic.
Yeah, so the Biden administration and the White House are swearing up and down that they had no choice. We had no choice. It was either Victor Bout for the basketball player, right? Or it was Victor Bout for nobody, okay? There was no option to get Paul Whelan, according to the White House and the Biden administration, which I 100% do not believe. I do not believe that whatsoever. I do believe that they could have made a one-on-one trade with Russia, okay? Russia has indicated that they could have, for Paul Whelan in exchange for Victor Bout, right? But no. What the Biden administration did, they actively chose the gay women's basketball player who's black because it was going to score them more PR points. That is exactly what they did. Guys, pay attention. The House today just passed the so-called Respect for Marriage Equality Act, right? Something like that, right? They passed their Marriage Equality Act on the same day, right? So wouldn't be surprised if Biden signs that tomorrow, and then he's taking a victory lap with Brittany Griner, right, at the White House or something, also signing that piece of legislation as well, too, with her wife there saying, this is a win for LGBTQ Americans. See, Democrats think people are dumb, bruh. Democrats think people are dumb. But I got to give them credit. They are masters at PR, right? Something that Republicans are terrible at, okay? Because this was all lined up. CBS News came out and said, well, we weren't going to reveal this information until basically the Biden administration told us that we could, right? So again, news outlets already knew about it, right? But they held on to this news exactly on the day that the House was scheduled to vote on this Marriage Equality Act. Again, you guys see this is politics at work, right? This is politics at work. This is a cheap victory for the Biden administration. This is what they're doing, right? It's politics. And the cost of that is that they left a Marine behind, right? They left a guy behind who was actually wrongfully detained, and they let Brittany Griner go for a situation that she put herself into. She was told not to go. She went anyways, right? When we knew that Russia was about to invade Ukraine, she went anyways, and she smuggled drugs illegally into the country. And she only spent a few months in prison, and she's already out, right? While the Marine has been sitting in there for years. Again, somebody tell me where that white privilege is, right? Somebody tell me where that male privilege is. I'm not seeing it in this situation right here, especially for a country that's supposed to be a part of the patriarchy and supposed to be pro-white supremacy. I'm just saying. But back to Karine Jean-Pierre in this press conference. She really lost her mind when she got called out by an African journalist about Joe Biden meeting with African leaders at a summit. And Karine Jean-Pierre, for whatever reason, didn't really want to call on this guy for a question, and the journalist basically just snapped because he has complained before about the White House ignoring his questions, and at that point, Karine Jean-Pierre decided that she's going to actually walk out of the press conference because of this reporter calling her out on her bias. Take a look.
Can you take a question on the U.S.-Africa Summit? Can you take a question on the U.S.-Africa Summit? Karine, why is it so hard to take a question on the U.S.-Africa Summit when the president is leading 50 African leaders, the biggest gathering of leaders of his administration? Why is it hard for you to give me a question?
It is not hard. I've answered. Would you let me answer the question, or are you going to? Okay.
But you don't give us questions.
Okay. I'm trying to answer your question. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Again, I just tried. You wouldn't let me. Go ahead.
No, but can
I just tried, and you would not let me, sir. So your colleague is going to ask a question. Go ahead.
Ask you a question.
No, I literally just tried to answer your question. You shut me down. So now your colleague is going to.
Let me ask the question first before you
Okay.
answer.
Thanks, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.
Question on the respect for the mayor, Jay?
Yeah, so just so you guys know, that is Today News Africa reporter Simon Ateba, okay? He's African, right? He's asking about Africa. Karine Jean-Pierre refuses to answer, so I'm assuming Karine Jean-Pierre must be a racist, right? She must hate Africans, right? I'm just saying, is that the game we're playing here, right? That's the only conclusion I can come to in regards to why she's not letting that guy answer questions, but if you guys listen, what he was trying to do there, he was asking, he was like, look, why are you not letting me ask questions? Why are you not calling on me? You don't call on me. And he actually was the same guy that defended a reporter trying to ask a question to Dr. Fauci about the origins of COVID-19, but Karine Jean-Pierre tried to cover for Fauci by basically stopping any type of questions about that, right? And this same guy called her out and was like, yo, you're so biased when it comes to picking reporters and questions. Like, you never call on us. You only call on the same people every single time, right? So this guy's been complaining for a long time about the lack of questions that, he's getting, okay? He just kind of snapped and was like, why won't you take a question, okay? Why won't you take my question about the African Summit meeting? And Karine Jean-Pierre tries to play slick and tries to, I guess, answer the question about why she's not taking an answer to the question without actually really addressing the real question or letting the journalist ask the question that he wanted to ask in the first place, which was about the meeting, right? For whatever reason, the Biden administration doesn't want to talk about it. Maybe she has something against this reporter. I don't know. Again, maybe she's, a heterophobe, right? Okay, if this guy's a heterosexual, or maybe, again, she doesn't like men. Okay, maybe she's sexist against men. Maybe she's racist against. I'm just saying, right? That those are the conclusions that the left would draw, right? But I think it's pretty clear that Karine Jean-Pierre is visibly getting frustrated with her job. I think that she's fed up. I think that she's about to tap out. Okay, I predicted that maybe she would last a year before pulling the race car and then quitting. We'll see. But again, she definitely seems to be cracking, right? She definitely seems to be unraveling by the day. We'll see how much longer she lasts. I don't think she's gonna last that much longer, but again, we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.